Some of you, hopefully lots of you, have finished your trials and received your mark back. Now, one of the things that some students do that can be not as helpful as what I'm about to suggest is they get their mark, they read the feedback, they think about it a little bit, then the teacher goes through it with them in class, and then they throw them out. Might I suggest there is a much more important thing that you can do with your trials than just reading your teacher's feedback and throwing it out. What I'd like to suggest is that you actually use them to gain some more information about yourself and how you conduct an exam. You've got big exams coming up in the HSC, and what your trials are is they're really a measure of how you have performed under pressure. For some of you, under pressure for 3 hours for the first time. So it tells you how well you wrote, how much you were able to produce depending on how much you studied, how clearly you structured your response, and most importantly, they're a really good indicator of what you need to do to prepare for your next set of exams. So this is what I do with my classes and what I suggest you do. First of all, I actually use voice to text, and I read out the response. I'll get my students to, so that they then have the response typed up in a Word document. So it's not handwritten, it's there and they can see it plain as day, how it is in all its glory. Once I do that, I get them to look at the structure and actually write out what they've done. Have they provided an introduction? Does the introduction have a judgment? Does it have an argument? Does it have their paragraphs set out in the order in which they appear? Then I get them to use different highlighters and to actually go through and gain a sense of what in the essay is actually in there. So for each paragraph, maybe they'll use a blue highlighter for topic sentence, a yellow every time there's an argument, green every time there is a evidence supporting that argument. And this will really help them see in a color-coded way, or help you see in a color-coded way, what your essay looks like. Is it predominantly evidence? Or have you got a whole bunch of argument there and there's not much evidence? Or is your structure all over the place? And that's a really helpful way of you thinking through. Then I ask my students, okay, now that you've had a look at that and thought about that, take out the key sentences of each structure and see if you, so the first sentence, the last sentence, those sentences that connect the evidence to the argument that you're making, see if you can improve them. See if you can have a look and go, could I have put this in a more clear way, in a better way? Am I struggling when I'm making these connections to show what I'm trying to say? Then have a look at the paragraphs. How well do they work together? Should you perhaps have written the first paragraph last? Or the second paragraph would have been better first before the third one, etc. So have a look at that and see if you can think through any trends there are. Once you've done that, hopefully it's giving you a really good idea of, now this is the thing I want to concentrate in the lead up to exams. Not just I need to study more. What do you need to study more? What do you need to practice more? Do you need to practice structuring your extended responses? Do you need to practice in your short answers, providing more evidence? Are your topic sentences all over the place and you need to work on providing really good, clear topic sentences? So that's what I get my students to do, and I think that's a very helpful way for you to prepare for your HSC exams rather than throwing out the papers at the end of the day.